All right, welcome back. So, as you guys know, the STI has been knocking, and I just picked up some spark plugs right here because it's having all the symptoms of having bad spark plugs. It's misfiring, but only so often and only under idle. I've already pulled the injectors off and tested them all. I put it all back together to see if it was cleaned, and it's still misfiring. I was thinking maybe it would be fuel pump, but it can't be because it got pressure immediately. It didn't sit there and crank for longer than a second. It had already got its pressure back up and it's ready to go. And I also don't think it's in the injectors because it's running fine and under any sort of load, just even the slightest bit, it's fine. But like I said too, I already checked the injectors and tested them and shot fluid through them and everything. So they're good. So let's see. If it's not the if it's not the spark plugs, then it's gonna be the coil packs, which I'm gonna kind of get down in there. It's kind of hard to get down, but I'm gonna take the battery off and the intercooler off and check the connectors for the coil packs, because this all happened because we hit a bump. It started misfiring right after we hit a bump. And these Subaru clips on the coil pack, they're super brittle and fragile. So I'm thinking maybe, just maybe, the bump kind of loosened one up, which that did happen on my brother's WRX. So I'm gonna replace the spark plugs anyways, but I'm gonna check those connections when I put it back together. If it's not that, then I'm gonna have to do fuel pressure tester and coil pack tester. It's basically all there is. But let's get started. Let's get tore into this thing. I'm gonna take that battery out and that intercooler off real quick. Battery and intercooler are out of the way, or talking air intake. There's the coil packs. Just pull those two bolts out, pull the pack out. But these are the clips I'm talking about. Those are really fragile. So just kind of curious if they do have a loose connection of some sort, but I'll check it out when we pull them out. So I'm gonna pull those out, and I might be able to get the top one, but the back one I'm gonna have to crack the motor mounts. So underneath there's two nuts under the frame. You'll see them. They're 14s. You just take those two nuts off, and then you could jack up one side of the motor, get these two done, jack up the other side of the motor, do those two. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull the packs out first. If I can, I'm gonna try it. Got the packs out without having to get the motor up. So I think I'll be able to probably, well, I don't know, we'll see. But I got them both out on both sides. The wires and connectors look fine. And honestly, these look like they've been replaced pretty recently. Really, really nice shape. There's even some lubricant in it. Yeah, they almost look like they've been replaced before us. So, let's see how these spark plugs look, because I'm really, really curious. This one I can get to, and that's one of the cylinders that were firing. So let's see what they look like. So this is the difference. There's really hardly any difference between them. This one does kind of look weak, but still, these look pretty new. It has a strong fuel smell. Yeah, definitely smells like fuel. But I'm gonna swap these out anyways. So let's go ahead and put those in. All right, so I got this first spark plug in, and I got these two spark plugs in. And now the coil packs put back on. Check the connections for the 100th time. But you don't have to jack up the car to get to this side. It's only this side. And I was able to get to the front one. It's just the back one. It's right up against that frame. right there. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the car up and then get that one done, knocked out. Alrighty, got them all switched out. Coil packs are back in. I ended up just putting the jack under the motor and putting light pressure on it. Barely, didn't have to do the motor mounts or anything. Just pushed it up a little bit. I made this contraption right here. 2 swivels and it made it. So the spark plugs are replaced. Slap the intercooler back on, the battery, and then moment of truth. We'll see if it's still misfiring. Real quick, these are the spark plugs. There's 2 and 4 right there, 1 and 3. 1 and 3 were not misfiring. And if you look at them, they have a good burn at the end of the contact right there. Both these smell like gas, and they don't have a good size burn. Like that's barely a little dot. It's so hard to see. What does this one look like? This one doesn't even look like it was firing almost. Either way, at least there was something different between these, because those 2 were misfiring and these weren't. So at least there's some little difference. Now that they're all replaced, now I could see. All right, so it's the following day. I've been working with this thing all night. I am still getting misfire on cylinder 2. I swapped the coil packs, it's still doing it. All new spark plugs, still doing it. I did fire the injectors and clean them, but they're not new, so I might just replace them to see if that helps. But it's still misfiring. If anyone has any ideas, comment below. That's gonna end it for this video though.